Call tonight's council meeting to order. We have a quorum present for tonight's meeting, and tonight will be led in the invocation by Becky Farrell from Faith Temple Church in Sioux Falls. After the invocation, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. So at this time, I'd ask everyone to please rise.
Micah 6:8 says, "He has shown you, O man, what is good." And, O woman, I might add. "And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." You know, I stand here today because this was my husband's hometown. After he passed away last year, my thought was to come home because Sioux Falls is a welcoming community. And I want to congratulate you and thank you, City Council members, Mr. Mayor, fellow citizens, for making Sioux Falls a welcoming community. And my prayers for you, both tonight and in the future, and my husband's prayers for you, were that you would love God, you would love each other, and that you would love your neighbor as yourself, and that when you know the right thing to do, that you would just do it, like the Nike people. Just do it. Let's pray together. Father, we thank you for this meeting. We thank you for the mayor. God, we ask that you would give him special wisdom and insight as he goes about his days, as he leads us in this city. Father, we pray for the city council. We pray that you would give them wisdom and insight, that when they see the right thing, that they would have the courage to go for it. Father, we pray for our citizens. God, make us the kind of people that give you pleasure, that bring a smile to your face. When we see the right thing, God, help us to do it. Father, we ask your blessing and your protection, your hand of caring over us, not just tonight, but over all that we do and all that we are. We wrap all these things up and we hand them to you as a present. God, our very lives are yours. And we say thank you for this time and this place and this meeting. May your will be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, tonight we have two proclamations. The first one is the Big Read Month. And Susie and Rose, did you have anybody else that you could come up, or is it just the two of you? Or hey, Rose, how are you? We have a proclamation for the Big Read Month, and it reads, "Whereas the Big Read is an initiative of the National Endowment of the Arts, Institute of Museums, and Library Services and Arts Midwest is designed to bring communities together through literature. Whereas the Big Read aims to address the critical issue of declining literacy and reading in America. Whereas aided by a strong sense of community and passion for the arts, Madison, Martin, Pierre, Ridgeview, Rapid City, Scotland, Sioux Falls, and Spearfish are the South Dakota communities chosen by the NEA to participate in the Big Read program. Whereas Fahrenheit 451, written by Ray Bradbury, is the book upon which activities such as lectures, books, discussions, and other special events are based. Whereas the Big Read is brought to our community by the South Dakota Center for the Book program of the South Dakota Humanities Council, in large part to the dedication of various sponsors, joined by other statewide partners including Bennett County Library, Madison Public Library, Rapid City Public Library, Prairie Pages Bookstore, Rollins Municipal Library, Scotland Community Library, Siouxland Libraries, Spearfish Libraries, and Topa School Library to make the Big Read a success. Now, therefore, I, Dave Munson, the mayor of the city of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim April 2008 as the Big Read Month in Sioux Falls. And congratulations. Give it to you, Rose. And then we have one for Oprah's Big Give, Pay It Forward, and we'd ask Brian, would you want to come up?
Oh.
And this reads, whereas locally, Oprah's Big Give Dakota started with a presentation to ABC from KSFY TV and the Argus Leader. Whereas this presentation has many reasons why ABC and the Oprah's Big Give should grant KSFY TV, a local ABC affiliate in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a check for $10,000 to pay it forward in the Sioux Falls community. Whereas KSFY TV, with the partner Argus Leader Media, is providing tools to support 4 separate fundraising efforts to include Avera McKinnon, Target, Citibank, and One Person Big Difference. Whereas the citizens of Sioux Falls have joined together to make the dreams of children and families come true through a variety of fundraising events. Whereas the word of the Oprah Big Give Dakota has spread in the community, the number of businesses has also increased, providing fundraising activities to include the donation of proceeds from T-shirt sales, discounts on coffee and dinners, and tickets to community-wide events. Whereas the spirit of volunteerism, generosity, and the goodness in the hearts of people is what makes Sioux Falls a wonderful place to live. Now, therefore, I, Dave Munson, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim April 11th, 2008, as Oprah's Big Give, Pay It Forward Day in Sioux Falls. And congratulations, Brian. Okay, with that, let's get started. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved, Knutson.
Knutson moved. Is there a second?
Second, Benninger.
Benninger seconded. Further comments, motions on the consent agenda? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion?
Was there an interest in moving item number 11 off the consent agenda for discussion?
I haven't heard that. Is that?
I looked at that item, Mr. Mayor, and I would make that motion to move item 11.
You want to take item 11 and do what now? Put on the regular agenda?
For purposes of the discussion, yes, I think that warrants further looking at.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, Jameson.
Jameson seconded to take item 11 off the consent agenda, and it would put it on the regular agenda. And we can make a motion, we get that point. So we've got the motion for us. Any comments on the motion to amend the consent agenda? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to amend the consent agenda by adding item 11 to the regular agenda will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh? Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
That motion has prevailed, 7 yes, 1 no, so that will be added to the regular agenda. Any other motions on the consent agenda? Not all in favor of approving the consent agenda as amended will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. The consent agenda has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused, as amended. So now we're at the motion. Is there a motion to approve the regular agenda?
So moved, let's.
Let's move. Is there a second?
Second, Jameson.
Jameson seconded. Is there further motions on the regular agenda? Bob?
I'd like to see item number 39 moved to just before item number 31.
Okay, your motion is to move item 39 above 31.
Second.
Second on that motion by Brown. Further comments on that motion? If not, all in favor of moving item 39 above 31, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present voted. That motion prevailed 7 yes, 1 no. Any other motions on the regular agenda that has been amended? Is there a motion to take and place item 11 on the, you want to put it at the top, or where do you want to put it?
Yes, I make a motion to put it at the top of the agenda,
Do you want to put it before 39 or just before?
right after 39.
after
I like it
39?
right
Okay.
after 39.
Let's put it right after 39. That's item 11. Knutson made that motion.
Second, Litz.
Let's second it. So the motion is take item number 11 that has been moved from the consent agenda to the regular agenda, and we move right after 39. Further comments on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 excused. Item 11 has been added just after 39. Other motions for the regular agenda? Any other motions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the regular agenda as amended will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present voted. The regular agenda has been approved, 7 yes, 1 excused, as amended. Now is the time that we set aside a period of 5 minutes that anyone that wants to address the council, what we ask of you, just give your name and your address, and we would just ask you to respect the 5-minute rule that we have. So anyone who wishes to address the council, come forward and give your name and address, please.
Jabez Bruns, 2804 West Courtyard Lane. Mr. Mayor, councilmen and women, I come to you today not as a city council candidate and not as a politician with a hidden agenda. I come to you as a concerned citizen whose interests lie in protecting my wife and children. I have grown up in Sioux Falls for all but 4 years of my life, and I have been fortunate enough to enjoy a low-crime community others in this world can only dream of. I think all or most parents will agree with me that low crime and an efficient fire department are at the top of our list of why Sioux Falls is a great place to live and raise a family. The news 3 weeks ago that the city was short 10 police officers was very disheartening. What really makes me and other citizens shake our head and feel more neglected from our city government is that the problem was addressed and a hiring guideline was put forth to mitigate shortages back in the year 2004. The guideline was a ratio of 1.4 firefighters and 1.5 police officers for every 1,000 citizens. Some have said that this is an arbitrary number or an artificial bureaucratic formula. Some have said this ratio will hold us back from hiring more officers. This, however, is a ratio that the FBI sets so communities such as ours will have a good minimum to staff departments and keep our streets safe. This will not hold us back from staffing. Why are we debating about a minimum that we cannot even reach? Now the year is 2008 and the city is still short more than a dozen police officers and a fireman from the ratio some say should be taken away. We had a chance to hire 6 police officers last November, but we did not have enough council members to vote down a veto. This resolution was brought forth to keep up with the ratio established. Being short 10 officers today is even more proof that this minimum ratio should not be taken away. Without having a ratio-based formula, we only see more shortages in the future. Sioux Falls is growing 3,000 plus people a year, and we cannot afford to keep falling behind. We must be proactive and actually hire more than the ratio. Some have said that this ratio will put us into autopilot. Some have said also that even if we hired 6 of those officers last November, they wouldn't have been ready till July. I'm sorry, but this is 4 months our streets would have been safer, and maybe we need to be on autopilot if the city government cannot fly the plane correctly. Once again, this ratio is only a minimum, and it creates stability. This stability could help deal with the unpredictability of resignations, terminations, and military deployments. It is a way to plan ahead, something elected officials are hired to do. I know and understand that this is a very difficult job to prioritize our city dollars, and staffing can be expensive, but public safety should be number 1 on that list. Securing adequate police and fire departments should be considered among bare necessities. These needs should come before our wants. I urge the city to act now and hire until the ratio is met. Then and then only we should debate that this ratio is worth continuing. Thank you.
Thank you. Others that wish to address the council for a period of 5 minutes, name and address, please.
I'm Roger Algersmith, 3504 South Alpine Avenue is where I get my mail. I went to one of the council debates and I found out how easy that would be if they were an incumbent or new, or the issue was something they were running on, or if it was something they didn't know about, or male or female, black or white, liberal or conservative. The answer was always we should look at that. So I've got three things that I hope you look at some point, and since I'm not running, I'll give a fairly clear opinion on them. The first one is the issue of when we are short 10 police officers. That's less than 5% of the force. If 200 police officers put in 2 hours overtime each, they'd have that all covered. And I'm sure they got a human resource department that knows how to hire people and have people that they could hire. But what concerned me first is this just a subtle little thing to, I mean, when they says in the newspaper that we're not going to answer the phone at night at the police department, it looked like a little ploy to make people uneasy about shortage of officers. And then later I started thinking a little more about it. When I was 20 years old in college, my roommate and I worked for the security department, and the head of security was a retired police chief, so we had a pretty good mentor. And you don't show a weak point. If you got a weak point, you either have an ace up your sleeve to cover it, but you don't tell the public or new possible criminals that we're not going to be answering the phone for a while. I'm sure the Sioux Falls Police Department has had brighter moments. The second one is on the levees. When I ride on the bike trail and imagine a $19 million pile of dirt put on more of that bike trail, it doesn't sound like it'd make the city look a lot prettier. And I also look at floods. There's two kinds of floods. In the spring floods, with a snow melt, the water runs out of the river onto the floodplain. And in a big rain, it's trying to run from the floodplain into the river. And a levee only helps one of them. And we've had more trouble with big rains. I've never seen the levees at fourth full. I think that instead of raising the levees, which they did in New Orleans till the Mississippi was higher than the city, if you let more water through the spillway on the north side of the city, we wouldn't have problems with too much water on the west, south, and east side. There's a dam straight north of the airport, right about where the bicycle bridge goes across. If you made the top of that dam so you could lower it 2 feet during a rain or a spring flood and let a lot more water across the north side of the city, the water levels wouldn't come up higher. If you have higher levees and a lot of water, the water level comes higher. And I could see the airport's lower than the levees are now already. Interstate 229 could get flooded if it goes over the present levees. So to keep the water level lower, the water would run to the river quicker with more drop in a big rain, and it would cover both kinds of flooding. The third is this item I want to talk about is the street budget. I was here 2 or 3 years ago at a CIP meeting, and they planned quite well. They planned on how fast the city was growing. They talked about when the city is going to be 150,000. Their projections were quite accurate on the city growth rate. They had planned for replacing old streets. They planned for taking streets from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. They planned for taking gravel roads and paving them because of how big the city was. This was all planned and gets updated every year, and now we're 80 million short in that budget. When it was planned that well, and it's short, it looks like, and it's a proper procedure, if you get another project, you can switch money from one project to another. So it's perfectly legal to move money around. But when you plan for something basic like streets, planned really well, accurately, and now you're short, and you're short when you want to raise taxes, is the taxes raised for the money, the projects the money got switched to? I mean, it seemed like we had enough money for streets, so it'd be interesting to know where the money went when it was planned for. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger.
You know, Mayor, would it be possible to have the Public Works Director respond to any of this, or not? I mean, they're not all that simple, but...
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Mark Cotter with the Office of Public Works. Probably 2 points. One with the flood control project, and specifically the low end dam. That is specifically set so we can actually take water in with our water intake and then actually route that to the water treatment plant and treat that water, because we, in many cases, blend 50-50 with well water and flood control water. If that was lowered hydraulically, that would not work to take our water into the intake. There's been a lot of discussion about the streets and the identification of the $81 million. I think one of the things that we've got is that's what we expect needs to be built to match development over the next 5 years. That's not today's need. That is what we, number one, expect needs to come in as annexed land and rooftops in what we would like to match the program to make sure that we're building with development. So a couple of comments on that.
Thank you. Others that wish to address the council are a period of 5 minutes. Name and address. I see no one coming forward, so at this time we will move into the regular agenda, and that's item number 39.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 7400 West 22nd Street from the RS1 Residential District to the RD Residential District, petition number 2008-0209, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
Good evening, Mike Cooper, Planning and Building Services. We had a number of residents here tonight, and we explained that there was discussion about this item earlier this afternoon, and that by the request of the City Attorney's Office, we would asked the council to defer this item for 2 weeks to April 21st so that we can have some additional research on the status of the property ownership.
Questions of Mike? Not. Kermit?
Yes, Mike, is Mr. Berlin Fast here tonight? Yeah, I was wondering, what does he think about the deferral?
Berlin Fast, 1205 South Tayberry. This deferral would add to the 15 months that we had the home on for sale. It would add to the whole dilemma, the whole drama that's taken place in the neighborhood. I would rather that it just could be dealt with tonight and voted on tonight. This deferring and going month to month and another month really caused us to lose the option that we had to make this home an assisted living home. Now we're just requesting to make this home a duplex. We would occupy the duplex. If I could just take a minute and just go through this and just tell you, no changes would be made on the home, on the outside, no changes. The lower duplex would not even be visible from the surrounding streets. The only changes to the home on the interior would be a second layer of sheetrock on the ceiling for the fire separation to take place and a fire-rated door to the basement. No sprinkler systems would be added on the interior. Having a sprinkler system, if you remember right, was going to be quite invasive for a residential home, and that was one of the neighbors' concerns, was to install this huge sprinkler system, and that's not being done with just being a duplex. This 6,000 square foot single family home that sits on the corner with the stoplight at the intersection of school, church, twin homes, kitty corner across the street from 22nd to 26th Street. That whole block stretches all twin homes. Like I say, we had this home for sale for 15 plus months and no offers, and that's mostly due to its location being the added stoplight and the no parking in front of the street. It would not have any impact on the area as being a duplex. I can't imagine a duplex seems a much friendlier purpose for the home than assisted living would be. I am surprised that there isn't more concern. While foreclosed homes in the area do have an impact on other homes, I'm surprised that this is not a concern since the neighborhood has already had one home foreclosed on. The research says that each foreclosed home within a 1/8 mile radius reduces that home value by 9%. We've held neighborhood meetings. We sent out another letter after the approval from the city commission asking for some resolution with the neighbors. Then we gave them our contact information again via email, and I had no response, no questions asked, no concerns. We did this a couple weeks ago already, so this deferral thing it would just be a slap in the face for me here. We would occupy the upper duplex of this home, as we are currently attempting to sell our home on Tayberry, which is a block away, and this home would be occupied as a duplex and would continue to look great. That's all I've got.
Questions, Verlin? None. Go ahead.
Well, Mr. Past, I know at our earlier meeting today at 4 o'clock, I mean, I know that there was no thought on any counselor's part on, trying to inconvenience you in any way with the idea of a deferral. We just had thought that maybe there was another new party involved and that party should have some chance to weigh in on this issue. And I guess the other thing I'd just like to say is that the residents who've contacted me just feel, they haven't commented on like the sprinkler system or anything like that. They just think that the zoning should stay like it originally was. So I'm just sharing those thoughts from this afternoon.
I don't know where their concerns are, other than just not being neighborly and.
So other questions? If not, what's the wishes? The wishes of the council move forward this night, or is there a motion to defer until April 21st? What's the wishes? If we don't hear it, is there a motion to defer? If I don't hear that, we'll go ahead with the testimony on it.
I would make a motion to defer, Mr. Pass, just from the standpoint that, there is a third party involved now, and they have rights, and on the advice of the city attorney's office, that's why we're deferring, and it's not to in any way be a slap up on you or your family or anything else. It's just that there's more parties involved, and they deserve notification as well.
Yeah.
So,
Where are they if there's a third party? I mean, we've made attempt for neighborhood meetings.
I believe it's Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank is the third party.
Yeah.
Well, we got a motion. Is there a second to that motion?
Second, Kevin.
Okay, Kavanaugh seconded that motion to defer. And further motions on the motion to defer till April 21st. And the motion to defer, go ahead.
Well, I think we ought to deal with this issue tonight. I mean, Mr. Fast has been here many, many times, and he's the person that's primarily responsible for that property right now, and I think we should just deal with this issue now.
Okay, further comments on the motion to defer? Bob Jameson.
Well, I guess, will the third party that's involved care whether they are not pushing for the zoning for duplex? Would they be interested in pursuing that? Is that what you're wishing to find out?
The reason the city attorney's office suggested that perhaps a deferral would be in order is that so we could contact the holder of the sheriff's certificate of sale, because this property is in a redemption period right now, and determine whether or not they would support the rezoning, and if they believed it would negatively impact the value of the property. I'm quite sure they would not, but that is a question that we feel should be posed to them.
Would they have to sign on for the request for the rezoning?
They have property, they have ownership rights now by virtue of the sheriff's certificate of sale, and Mr. Fast and his family have a possessory right during the redemption period to redeem the property by paying the amount of the judgment.
My point is, though, will the third party need to sign on for the rezoning before it can come before this council?
That is one of the issues. Just having found out about this, I would like to have a little bit of time to contemplate that. I believe that you can make a strong case that they would.
Further questions? We have motion made and seconded to defer item number 39 until April 21st. Are there further comments on motion to defer? If not, all in favor of the motion to defer will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
No.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
No.
All members present have voted. The motion to defer has been approved, 6 yes, 2 no, so item 39 will be deferred until April 21st. Let's move to item number 11.
Jessica LeBrun Heath, 517 South Bruning, for 2007 property taxes in the amount of $1,328.05. Applicant was unaware that the home purchased was not listed as owner-occupied status and therefore never filed for owner-occupied status.
Hi. Basically, I'm here because we purchased a home.
Excuse me, Jessica, would you just give your name and address for us,
Sure.
please? Thank you.
Jessica Heath, 517 South Browning Drive.
Thank you.
In November of 2006, I signed a purchase agreement along with my husband, Ted Heath, to purchase a home from Prudential Relocation Company. And when I signed the purchase agreement, and as well as Prudential signed it as well, they stated in here that the home was in owner-occupied status, and that would be in owner-occupied status until March 15th of 07. And that was what I assumed, was that it was in owner-occupied status because I signed this form and they also signed the form. And now when I got my taxes for this coming year that were from 07, it's saying that it was in non-owner-occupied status because the relocation company was in possession of it in November. And they actually took possession of it in August, and then we did not actually close on the home until January of 07.
Questions of Jessica?
Question of the city attorney. Do we have other examples of this where we've been able to fix that?
Councilor Brown, as city attorney, I have to tell you what the statute says, and the statute is written as a disqualifier. If you're not the owner in possession on November 1st of the year preceding the tax bill, then you do not qualify for the owner-occupied status. As far as the powers of the council, you have equitable powers that should you choose to use them.
Further questions?
What was the purchase date of your, when did you take possession of the home?
January 5th of 2007.
And the taxes should have been prorated to the date that you occupied the property. The taxes that are due would be, you would not have received a property tax statement for 2007 yet. It would have been 2006.
That's correct. But in 2006, there actually was a family living there, and what happened was the person got relocated through their work, and a relocation company took possession of the property in August of 2006. So they technically had possession from August 2006 until January of 07. But I guess my thing is, it's a difference of $1,300 where I signed a form and they signed a form saying that it was in owner-occupied status, and I don't feel that it's my fault when I signed it and they signed it, and my realtor, trying to protect me, had us sign this paper. And basically from the city, what I got was, well, Prudential Relocation Company doesn't know the laws of Sioux Falls for owner-occupied status, so therefore they don't care about what they're signing.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions of Jessica?
Jessica, have you had any comments? I'm sure you had comments. Did you have any discussion with the people from Prudential about their responsibility and frankly misguiding you?
Sure. Basically, I contacted their realtor, and he did tell me that when you sign the papers for the mortgage, you're also signing saying that you're releasing Prudential from any, of their misknowledge of what they set up for you. So basically, there's no hope to, take them to court or anything like that, and they basically wash their hands of it once you've signed it over. And so that was just a really hard lesson for us to learn, and we're just asking for some sympathy here, I guess, and it'd be different if it was just, a couple $100, but it's $1,300.
Further questions of the council, or is there any motions?
I'd move for approval.
Move to waive the $1,300. Motion move to waive is
Second, Litz.
Litz seconded. Further comments on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion? Go ahead.
Well, I think it's fairly clear that the petitioner here has brought to us an instance where miscommunication is probably what's caused this problem. It's never been clear to me why the state puts ridiculous bureaucratic requirements on people anyway. You got to do it the first time and then you're good forever. We should be making it easier for people to get these the homeowner occupied tax exemptions, and I would urge your approval of this.
Further questions? We got a motion been made and seconded. To waive. Further, almost all the motion. All those in favor of the motion to waive the 132805 vote yes. Those opposed no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted 8 yes. That motion is carried. Let's move back.
Mr. Mayor, the petitioner should know that this will go to the county now, and you have to have a favorable vote from the county commission also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's move to item 31.
New 2008 retail liquor license for JCP Inc., Joey's Seafood and Grill, to be operated at 2209 West 57th Street, including Sunday sales. Rescind 2008 retail wine license is issued to JCP Inc., Joey's Seafood and Grill, 2209 West 57th Street. And rescind 2007-08 retail malt beverage license issued to JCP Inc., Joey's Seafood and Grill, 2209 West 57th Street.
Thank you. Lori Hogstead with the City Finance Office, and I can answer questions on items 31 to 33.
Questions, Lori, on items 31, 32, and 33? Not others that wish to address the council on those three items, 31 through 33? Not council discussion or action?
Move to approve.
Let's move. Jamison seconded. Further comments? You want to take that all in one motion?
Yes.
Councilmember Litz, you want to take 31, 32, 30, all three of them?
Just do them all. You bet.
Okay, that's the motion to do items 31, 32, and 33. The motion been made and seconded. Any further questions? Not all in favor of the motion to approve items 31, 32, and 33. Vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Items 31, 32, and 33 have been approved 8-0. Item 34.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 101 North Blaine Avenue from the O Office District to the C2 General Commercial District, petition number 2008-0114, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property consists of approximately 1.75 acres of land. It's currently vacant, and it's located directly north of an existing Super 8 motel. The intent of the rezoning is to allow for the expansion of the existing motel to the north with approximately 18 to 24 rooms, as well as the construction of a second building that would be also a motel use of approximately 120 rooms. The rezoning would also require for a future conditional use permit hearing by the applicant in order to construct this proposed use. Recommendation by the Planning Commission is to approve the rezoning as proposed.
Questions of Mike on item number 34? Others that wish to address the council on item number 34? Is there a motion by the council?
Move to approve.
I second that motion. Knutson.
Knutson seconded the motion. Further comments on the motion made and seconded to approve item 34? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello? Jamison?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 34 has been approved, 8 yes. Item 35.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at southern boundary of the Lincoln High School campus from the unzoned district to the RS2 residential district, petition number 2008-211, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is approximately 4.8 acres of land adjacent to the Lincoln High School athletic site. It is abandoned railroad right-of-way, which is why it's currently unzoned. This will allow Lincoln High School to expand both their parking lot as well as their athletic facilities. They're looking at adding some practice football fields, and we are going to also look at this property in its entirety at some future time and probably initiate a rezoning to the institutional zoning district, which is what Roosevelt and Washington High School are also zoned at this time. But the recommendation at this time is to approve this rezoning to allow the expansion of the athletic facility.
Questions of Mike on item 35?
Yeah, the last time we talked about this, I asked about, why this wasn't institutional zoning, and we're going to do the RS2 now, and then later do institutional. Why didn't we just have it institutional, do the whole thing at once?
We didn't include the legal description of the existing high school property with this item tonight.
So we're going to have to go through this in the near future.
And we would not require the school district to fill out a petition. We would just do that as a city initiation request in the future.
Okay.
Further questions of Mike on item number 35? Others that wish to address the council on item number 35? Is there a motion?
Move for approval, Benninga.
Benninga.
Second, Brown.
Brown seconded. Benninga moved, Brown seconded to approve item 35. Further comments on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve item 35, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benninga?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present vote. Item 35 has been approved 8-0. Item 36.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 600 South Valley View Road from the RS2 residential district to the I1 light industrial and the RC recreation conservation district, petition number 2008-215, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property is just under 7 acres in size, and the proposed use of the property will be for future industrial storage, as well as for storm drainage, and also to allow the realignment of Valley View Road between 14th and 16th Streets. The owner and petitioner, Cindy and Tom Monin, as well as Warren Friesen, have owned this property for a number of years and has been discussing this idea with the city for quite some time. Because of the condition of the property, the soil, it's not conducive as far as any type of building construction. And so the petitioner is requesting the rezoning to industrial to allow for the storage uses in the future. And the realignment of Valley View Road would help with the traffic safety in the neighborhood as well as with the access to the school. There's a pedestrian walkway that would be extended through this neighborhood going to the north. And the rezoning request is being recommended for approval by the Planning Commission.
Questions of Mike on item number 36? Others that wish to address the current?
Yes, Mike, how much are the property owners going to have to pay on that realignment of the street?
Do you want me to address that? I believe, and maybe the information I have is not quite up to date, but I believe that the estimated cost of reconstructing Valley View Road is about $600,000. That's an estimate. It's not a bid. And the city will be paying for about $250,000 of that total.
And so they'll be paying $350,000, is that right?
That's the information that I got today from the city engineer's office.
Can you explain the rationale why they will be paying $350,000 to realign a city street?
In this type of a street, the property owners would typically be assessed for the cost of the street. But again, going back with previous discussions, there is a benefit to the city to realigning the street, plus because of the soil conditions, the economic value of this property is somewhat limited. And so we thought that it would be fair to only assess the property owners a portion of the street cost for those reasons.
But I guess I'm wondering, the street is already there. The city just simply wants to realign it. And, I mean, I don't know if the applicants really care about a realigned street or not, but they're getting assessed possibly $350,000.
We've been talking to the applicants for quite some time about this, and I believe, at least up until tonight, that they were supportive of this partnership between the city and the property owner.
Can we ask them about that issue?
My name is Cynthia Monin with Friesen Construction at 615 South Marion Road. And, yeah, I was supportive of it, but Kermit, I'll go along with your plan, too.
Okay. No.
We've been working on this for a long time. Maybe another way to answer the question is Valley View is not an urban section road. It does not have curb and gutter. And so as this area develops, it would most likely need to be improved by the property owners. But given the land as we purchased it with reduced economic value and constructability issues, and that's why we've been negotiating with the city for quite some time, because we felt the realignment of Valley View is really a benefit to the entire community, not just the land that we own.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But, my concern here is there a quid pro quo? In other words, we'll go ahead and approve changing this to light industrial, but in return, you're going to have to pay $350,000.
Well, I'm not sure how. We understand that we will be assessed for the portion of the street that is fronting land that we can develop, that is buildable. And I believe our adjacent property owners also understand that and have in fact signed an assessment petition when they made various improvements in the future, or in the past. Does that answer your question?
Well, I guess I'm just wondering, if you said, no, I don't want to pay $350,000, do you think this would, the city would go along with saying, we're going to let you do the light industrial?
If I didn't say that I would pay
$350,000.
Would the city then go along with the light industrial? Well, I guess to us, we have wanted to rezone this property to light industrial based on the area and the constructability of the land. We did not move forward with that because if we did get that approval and construct something, then the possibility of realigning Valley View would go away, and the city would be stuck with a 90-degree turn, which causes a problem. So we purposely held up on moving forward with any development of the property until we could get Valley View realigned through some sort of cooperative agreement. Does that answer the question?
Well, I'm not sure if it does or not, because initially you said you would, I really wouldn't want to pay the $350,000.
Well, I was kidding, Kermit, because we have been talking about this for probably 5 or more years. I was just saying, if I don't have to pay $350,000, I'd be happy to go along with that.
I'm wondering why you should be paying $350,000 for this, because this is not your street; it's a city street, and I don't see why you should have to pay for it. If this is city property, so. That's the point I'm trying. It's not your property.
But part of the property that is being realigned is my property. The improvements being proposed by the city and us property owners are not just within the right-of-way, the existing right-of-way of Valley View and 16th Street. There's also improvements that will cut across our property.
So you're giving up some of your property to do this, too?
Yes, we are.
Plus $350,000. Okay.
Bob Jamison.
Yes, and
one thing. Cindy, I don't know how much more, but you had been assessed for both sides of Valley View had you not done this, right?
Yes.
You'd have the full length from 12th Street all the way to 16th Street or 15th, whatever it is, plus that short distance up to whatever that road is.
Yes, I don't own all the way to 12th Street, but yes, I own on both sides of Valley View.
So you would have been assessed for both sides of that street had it been built on the original right-of-way.
Yes.
Okay, and the right-of-way that is being vacated for Valley View will revert to you as the landowner adjacent, so you're not really, you're trading land is what you're doing.
That is true.
And
Bob,
so
there are a lot of different
consequently,
ways to look at it,
My
yes.
guess is that your money costs you less this way than if you would have built Valley View in the old way.
Yes, that is true. Thank you for helping me answer.
Thanks, Cindy. Other questions, Cindy or Mike? Others who wish to address the council on item number 36? Not. Is there motion by the council?
I move approval, for approval, Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz second. Further comments on the motion to approve item 36? I see none, so all in favor of the motion to approve item 36, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted 8 yes. Item 37.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at South Ebenezer Avenue and West Graceland Court from the RD Residential and RA1 Residential District to the Bronto PD Plan Development District, petition number 2008-115, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
We are also requesting deferral of this item tonight for 2 weeks to April 21st. After discussing this with the petitioner, we do have an item that will be coming before you next Monday to consider some street vacation action within the same area, and we would like to have that considered first and then come back and consider the rezoning on the 21st.
So you'd ask that this would be deferred until April 21st?
21st. And that's in...
Is there a motion to that?
So moved, Litz.
Let's move.
Second, Jameson.
Jameson, second. Okay, Kermit, I think you...
So Mike, once again, why is it necessary for us to defer this?
The petitioner would like to have the street vacation issue dealt with first, and then the rezoning.
Okay.
Other questions of Mike on the deferral of items 37 to April 21st? Motion made and seconded. Seeing no further comments, all in favor of the motion deferred to April 21st, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh? Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present vote item 37. The deferral has been approved 8-0. Item 38.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at West 17th Street between South Lake Avenue and Southwest Avenue from the RS2 Residential District to the O Office District, petition number 2008-2-8, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property is approximately 1 acre of land. It is currently owned by Sanford Medical. It is proposed to be a location for a new Ronald McDonald House, and it's located directly to the north of the Make-A-Wish Foundation office. We are recommending that it be rezoned to the office use so that it is consistent with the zoning directly to the south. And the proposed Ronald McDonald House, we are told, would be approximately 18 beds in size. Recommendation by the Planning Commission is to approve the rezoning.
Questions of Mike? Others that wish to address the council on item number 38? Come up and give your name and address, please. Would you come up to the podium, please? Thank you, Diane.
Diane Hoovey, H-U-W-E, 812 Southwest Avenue. I'll be living right behind that Ronald McDonald House. And my question to you guys is, where's that water going? Because every time Sanford builds, we end up with it in our basements, and we have to always prove where water runoff is, and we end up having issues of water runoff. And I would like to address it now before it's in my basement.
Mike, do you want to answer that?
As we've told you in other cases within this neighborhood, that anytime there's new construction, that they have to meet our new drainage, storm drainage design guidelines. And so the site plan, which we have a concept of that maybe we can show up on the screen, will go through review not only by Planning and Building Services, but also by the City Engineering Office. And they will have to provide a storm drainage plan that will be approved so that it will not create any concerns or impacts on the surrounding property owners. So this plan, like any others for new construction, will have to meet those current storm drainage guidelines.
Bob Litz.
I too live in this neighborhood and keep my eye on these projects a lot. And I see on the 22nd Street Lake project that they put in, they're addressing these water concerns, and I'm confident that they're going to do that on this project as well. But I assure you that I'll be keeping my eye on this, I'm confident the engineers are going to address the water this time. I understand.
Others that wish to address the council on item number 38, name and address, please. Thank you.
Amy Towser, 816 Southwest Avenue. My concern is that I have a dog, so, I mean, and she doesn't bite, but still there's a fence around my property, and the parking lot will be right next up to my property. So I want to make sure at least there's still a fence around my property. And then also another concern is lighting, so it's more subdued and not bright lights from that parking lot into my house.
Mike?
Because this is adjacent to a residential development, the lighting requirements would have to be met in terms of impact on the surrounding property owners. And in terms of fencing, I'm not sure at this point what they have in mind for fencing. There is going to be an outside play area, and I know that the Ronald McDonald House, based on their previous track record, has been very good neighbors, so it's going to be, obviously there'll be somebody around here 24 hours a day, and I don't expect that there'll be concerns as far as the surrounding property owners, but we'll let them know that there is a neighbor that does have a dog that they need to be aware of. That's the best answer I can give you for now.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on item number 38? Name and address, please.
Good evening, Ron Nelson, 122 South Phillips, representing the Ronald McDonald Board. And we've had neighborhood meetings, and obviously we're very interested in being a good neighbor. You'll see by the site plan there that we have, at this point, berms and plantings for fencing along the parking lot. We're open to doing what's in the best interest of the neighbors, and kind of some of those final decisions haven't been made yet, but we're aware of them. It's actually a stipulation of the conditional use, and we're just, like I said, open to whatever works best for the neighborhood as well as the city, and be open to any of your other questions you may have.
Questions? Thank you, Ron. Others that wish to address the council on item number 38?
Move for approval, Benninga.
Benninga moves for approval. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconded. Further comments on the motion to approve item 38? Got a motion made and seconded. Seeing no further comments, all in favor of that motion, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 38 has been approved 8-0. Item 40.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at the northeast corner of East 6th Street and South Shepherd Avenue from the O Office District to the RA1 Residential District, petition number 2008-212, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property is just over 1 acre in size. It's currently vacant, and the proposed use would be to change it from office to multifamily development. It is located adjacent to other multifamily to the west, a church to the east, residential to the north, and then across the south side of 6th Street is also a land zone for future multifamily residential. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of this zoning change.
Questions of Mike on item number 40? Others that wish to address the council on item number 40? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Let's
move. Is there a second?
Second, Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh seconded. Further comments on the motion been made and seconded. Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 40 has been approved 8-0. Item 41.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at the southwest corner of East 69th Street and South Tallgrass Avenue from the AG Agricultural District and the Hadrob Plan Development District to the Sanford Research Park Plan Development District, petition number 2008-213, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is a request by Sanford Medical to rezone the property for a future research park. This property is identified in our 2015 plan as a economic development growth area. It's located on the north side, adjacent to 69th Street and I-229. On the east side is Tallgrass Avenue. On the west side is Interstate 29, and it extends down about 3/4 of the way to 85th Street. We've been working with Sanford Medical on a concept plan of looking at what type of uses would potentially be going on in this property. And we also have a development plan that you'll be considering tonight as item 44. The city is also working with the state of South Dakota on a traffic study of looking at the future extension of Soberg Avenue down to 69th Street, as well as the potential crossing of 69th Street across Interstate 29. Those engineering studies we expect will be done within the next 30 to 60 days. And then we're also looking at more of a corridor study along I-29 and 229, including a potential interchange at 85th Street. And those engineering studies will be going on as well into this year. We believe by approving the land use concept tonight with this rezoning that we'll be able to deal with the future traffic impacts as those studies move forward and as future building plans are approved at a later date. It is consistent with our 2015 plan, and this property actually previously had been zoned for an industrial park. So we believe that it is appropriate to now change the zoning to allow for the medical research facility, and the recommendation is to approve this rezoning.
Questions of Mike on item 41. Bob Jamieson.
Mike, will there be any development here before Tallgrass is extended across 229?
Right now, we're looking at that in 2009. We're not anticipating this year. Again, this is very preliminary, but we're told that the Sanford probably wants to get in and start their site development to get their utilities and site grading done this year, would be their plan as I understand it.
Thank you.
Pat.
Mike, I think on the second slide, what are there's blue lines and red lines and green lines across there. There you go. What do those designate?
Those are property lines. Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. The blue lines would be water, existing water mains.
And the green?
And the green lines are sanitary sewer.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions of Mike on item number 41? Others wish to address the council on item number 41? Go forward and give your name and address, please.
I'm Deb Yoder. My address is 26988 Cactus Place. To orient you, Cactus Place is the gravel road immediately to the east of Tallgrass. So that gives you an idea where I am on the map. I have several concerns and questions about this. I took the time today to look at the documents that are on the agenda, connected to the agenda. With respect to the original proposal, there are some items that do not appear to have been addressed, and I'd like to question those at this point in time. In the document that was connected to the agenda, it talks about the compatibility of existing adjacent developments and enhancing community aesthetics and local identity. I don't know that that's being addressed. In that area, there is currently some residential, and some of that residential is different than what is slated to be developed on the Bentwood Place area, which was annexed 7 years ago, I believe, and platted as single and multifamily use. The area that we live in, our lots are 1 acre to 1 acre and a third, and that will be totally different than the so-called identity of the area as it develops. Another concern is the noise and the traffic that will come in when you have to develop tall grass. One of the references was made to developing 85th Street and a possible interchange from I-29 and 85th. Right now, 85th in that area is a gravel road, and my understanding at the open house last Thursday night, which discussed additional changes to road work around the city, is that 85th would then become a 4-lane road. And again, you have noise and traffic, additional traffic coming through there, with no one addressing what will be done to curb that or buffer that. One of the other things that we're concerned about is what happens when we looked at the maps provided by the city last Thursday. They indicated that the area directly south of that and extending south of 85th would become retail and commercial. There are homes in that area right now as well, and if that becomes commercial and retail, what happens to those homes? Are the landowners forced out? There's one indication on the slide you're viewing right now where there's a road. There are 2 roads that move south and then come together into a single road moving south connecting to 85th Street. I believe that's residential right now. What happens to the individual who owns that? Additionally, when you do that sort of thing, if that becomes retail and commercial, what does that do to my property values? I'm 10 years away from retirement, and I know that you don't care, but I do. The equity in my house at that point in time, 10 years from now, should provide a nice buffer for my retirement. But if you go retail and commercial in there, my property values, and I've talked to appraisers and realtors since last Thursday, the indication is that my property values will go down, and that's going to affect me long term. So my questions are, what is happening to the integrity of the area? What is happening? What is the actual future use, and what is its impact on me as a homeowner with respect to my land values? And what is going to be done if this all goes through? What is going to be done with respect to buffering the noise, the traffic, and the other things that will affect us there as homeowners? Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Thank you very much. Others that wish to address the council? Name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Craig Yoder, 26988 Cactus Place, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I'd also like to note that I am a Sanford employee. So I'm anxious for Sanford to have their research facility built out there in hopes I can transfer out there and only be a quarter mile from work. My concerns are the same as what my wife has just voiced. One thing that they stressed really hard at the construction open house there on Thursday night was that everybody wanted to maintain the integrity of the area, but when pressed to find out what that integrity was, there was no answer. Everybody wants to make sure that the landowners that are there, that have worked hard, established their land and their hopes and their dreams are well taken care of. We all know that if it gets rezoned and down there where we're at and our land value drops and we get paid, quote, the fair market value, there isn't a one-for-one change on that. Fair market value will not replace what the families have built down there. Can you throw that first slide up, please? To better show you exactly where we're at, no, just up a little. Yeah, right there is where we're talking about. That's my residence is in that complex there. It was also communicated, but not verbally, that there was a really strong possibility, and at some times we even got the impression it was a done deal that the interchange will go in at 85th Street. If that happens, all the things that my wife brought up will definitely be a concern. I would guess I would like the council to postpone a vote on this until we can get some answers on just exactly what's going to happen down in that neck of the woods for us landowners down there. The plat map shows all the retail and commercial areas that are going in. That's drastically going to change the whole use area for us. We pressed for answers there on Thursday night and got zero. Nobody's made any kind of effort to find out what's really going to happen. It all hinges well on the study on the 85th Street exit. That's what they're saying out of one side of their mouth. On the other side of the mouth, they're saying the exit's going in. There are alternatives. 69th Street's pretty much not going to happen from what we were told. There is a good option at the T exit they could consider, which would eliminate the 85th Street exit. So I just request that the council think hard before they vote on this. Give us people down there some answers on exactly what's going to happen. We welcome Sanford in the area. It's a great opportunity for everybody, myself especially. We just want to be sure that the commercial development that follows takes care of us and treats us properly. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Others that wish to address the council, come forward. Please give your name and address again, please.
Deb Yoder, 26988 Cactus Place. I'm sorry, there were a couple of items I forgot that I'd like to bring up to you. Going back to the original document that is attached to the agenda tonight, one of the things that was mentioned is that there was a neighborhood meeting on February 18th, but there were no results or comments that came out of that meeting attached, so no one knows what the neighborhood said. Another thing is everything references adjacent to, which I believe is interpreted to mean immediately connected to. And if that was a meeting that was for those people adjacent to that area, there are very few people who would have been invited to that area. I don't know how it was publicized or who was contacted. I also don't know what came out of that, and as yet tonight I have not heard anybody share what the people who did go to that meeting had for concerns. I would be interested to know those things. Also, as an FYI, based on what we heard last Thursday night, one of the neighbors in that area has already decided to sell their home because they are very concerned about what the property values are going to be. So I'd hate to see that become a domino effect if we don't have any answers or any understanding of what is intended to happen in the next several years. Thank you.
Thank you. Others that wish to address the council on item number 41? Seeing no one that's coming forward, is wish of the council is Bob Jameson.
Mike, this area should have been addressed in the 2015 plan, is that correct?
Well, the 2015 plan, as I said earlier, does show the land to the west of Tallgrass, actually south, all the way south of 85th Street, as a future economic development growth area, which in our plans could be industrial, it could be retail, it could be institutional. The land on the east side of Tallgrass, north of this existing rural subdivision, is shown as future office, institutional, and then commercial as you get up to 69th Street intersection. Both 85th Street and Tallgrass Avenue are shown in our major street plan as future arterial streets, which means that they would eventually be 4 lanes wide. And I can't address the question about the neighborhood meeting because I wasn't involved in that, but I do know that this is a very similar situation to the east side of Sioux Falls, where the Dolly Farm Village development is right across the street from the existing Split Rock Heights residential neighborhood. And I know that they've worked very close with their neighbors to make sure that there's no negative impacts. And again, I've said this many times in the past, but I'm not aware of any documentation around the city where the property values have gone down because of new construction that would occur in the area. But obviously, the people that are living in that rural subdivision are going to be impacted by not only this development, but also the continued expansion of Sioux Falls city limits down past 85th Street. And I would just say that we can work with the neighbors if that would be their desire to give more information. With the rezoning tonight, there still needs to be a final development plan that would go through another public hearing before any construction could begin on this property. So there would be other opportunities for dialogue with the surrounding property owners.
Further questions?
We would be very open to doing that with them.
Further questions, Mike D.
not a question for Mr. Cooper, but I was wondering, is there anyone in the audience tonight from Sanford who could answer any more of those comments? I guess I'm kind of surprised that an open house that was just held a few days ago, that people who have such strong feelings would walk away not feeling like their questions were answered.
Yeah, the open house was with the Department of Transportation in the city to talk about future street projects.
Thank you.
Kurt.
My name is Kurt Brost. I'm the Director of Development with Sanford for the Research Park in 1305 West 18th Street. To answer the question regarding the open house, as far as feedback from the neighborhood meeting that we had, I'm an old commercial real estate agent. It was the most positive community meeting I've ever been to as far as the people around there. Unfortunately, I don't know if what we sent out, because of the distance requirements from our site to their particular property, we didn't get to them. We thought we went pretty far and wide. There wasn't, in all honesty, there was absolutely no negative reactions that we had at that point. We obviously, I think Sanford has shown, at least in their history of my being within the city of Sioux Falls, have a history of trying to do developments that fit well within the neighborhoods that they go into, and we would obviously take that same approach to this. As Mike expressed, we have final development plans that need to become before this body, and as those things come up when we get to specifics, we will be sure to address those as we go forward.
Thanks, Kurt. Questions? Gerald?
Could you give me some kind of idea what your development time frame is?
Absolutely. I almost stood up earlier when we asked that, and we will not be having anybody on this site until 2011. So in regards to your question about traffic flows, our employees, and the development that we have on there doesn't have probably any impact in regards to the overpass. The Solberg overpass should be done far before we have anybody down there. At least I hope so. Otherwise, we're getting way behind schedule.
Further questions? No, thank you, Kurt. Others who wish to address council item number 41? Quickly, please. Your name and address again.
Yeah, Craig Yoder again, 26988 Cactus Place, Sioux Falls, 57108. Just a quick comment. Everybody is referring to this open house, or not this open house, but this neighborhood meeting, at which time they appointed people to be on an advisory committee, so to speak. You guys don't have the list of people or companies that are involved in that, but I encourage you to get a hold of it. If you can't, you have my name, and you can get a hold of me, and I will get it to you. But if you will note on there that about 80% of the people on that advisory committee are developers. Landowners are only 2 people, represent all the landowners. Developers are very heavy on that list. If you took the developers off that list, you would have, of course, Sanford, the City of Sioux Falls, City of T, and just 2 people representing all the rural people in that area. So keep that in mind, that committee that's looking at this is very heavy into the realtors and real estate development group. So it's just a FYI for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Others? Not. Is there council discussion or action on item number 41?
Move for approval, Costello.
Costello moves. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconded. Further comments on the motion to approve? We've had a motion made and seconded. Seeing no further, Kevin, go ahead.
I think everybody, and I'd like to speak directly to the Yoders, I think everybody in this council is sympathetic to your plight, as well as all the other landowners down there. But I'm not sure what we can do about it. Clearly, as our planning director said, this has been identified for many years as a industrial, commercial development area. I can tell you what's going to happen in the future. It's going to grow. It's going to continue to urbanize, and it's going to continue to fill in. And I'm not sure there's much we can do about it, short of not approving this rezoning. If we just left it as zoned agricultural land, yeah, we could stop the growth. But I'm not sure that's what we're all about. I'm not sure that's in the best interest of the citizens of this community and the economic future of this community. So sometimes it's difficult to do the right thing and please everyone, and this is just one of those times. I'm sorry.
Okay, further comments? We've got a motion made and seconded to approve item number 41. I see no further comments from the council. So all in favor of that motion to approve will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 41 has been approved 8-0. Item 42.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a major amendment, petition number 2008-214 to Chapter 15.45.070, Planned Development Districts at 3600 South Southeastern Avenue, allowing changes in land use as reflected in the revised sub-area regulations and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is a request by Verizon Wireless to construct a telecommunications structure that would be designed as a flagpole. It would be approximately 100 foot in height, and it would be located directly to the northeast corner of the existing Four Hills Plaza. And this is a petition to change the land use to allow this particular construction to occur. We did have a number of calls from surrounding property owners, and to my knowledge, the people that we did explain this proposal to did not indicate any opposition or concern. And Verizon Wireless is the one that actually came to us with the idea of the stealth design, as we call it, to use this as a flagpole. We've done other locations like this within the City of Sioux Falls, and the recommendation is to approve this request as proposed.
It be noted that Council Member Brown will be excused from item 42. Questions of Mike on this?
Yeah. Is Verizon representative here tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, I could ask a question.
My name is Kurt Walter. I do represent Verizon Wireless. I'm from Rochester, Minnesota.
Yeah. Mike Cooper said that when you brought this plan, you brought a stealth flagpole to present to the city. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. Now, in the past, I think we had required of Verizon to, transform these into stealth flagpoles. Is that the primary reason you did that, just because, well, in the past you've been required to put forth a stealth flagpole, and now just...
In this particular area, just looking at the site, if you're standing on Southeastern Avenue, a normal, traditional cell phone tower just wouldn't fit there. This particular item, the flagpole fits better into it. There was no real reason that we're going to do everything throughout the city. If we get into an industrial area, that kind of stuff, if we can still do a normal monopole, we'll try. But this area is just more conducive to a flagpole.
Okay. I guess my understanding was flagpoles are really not as good as regular, cell towers that are, you can tell it's a cell tower.
Flagpole installation limits the amount of antennas we can put inside it. It limits the heights we can go. It limits a lot of what we can do on there. Yeah. But this just fits better. I mean,
how much more does a stealth flagpole cost than a regular cell tower?
I would be, it's an educated guess.
Yeah, sure.
Don't quote, well, yes, suppose you quote me on it. It's about $40,000 extra.
Okay.
Other questions? Item number 42.
Well, if I can just ask one more quick question.
Sure.
How much is this going to probably cost Verizon?
Well, it all depends on how far you get into it. No matter what cell site we go to, whether it's on a water tower, in a building, anything like that, our shelter and our equipment inside the shelter costs about $300,000 just for that alone. The monopole, the flagpole, will be about $150,000, $170,000, somewhere in there.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Kevin.
I have a question for the gentleman.
Go.
Sorry. That's okay. I heard you earlier comment that it just wouldn't fit a regular cell tower in this area. What did you mean by that?
My background, I'm a real estate broker. I look at all aspects of real estate into it. this particular spot, there's houses to the east, there's townhomes to the west, there's nice houses there, there's apartment building, there's the Avera Clinic right next to it. This little spot we're on is basically a little commercial strip retail center. Well, I mean, not retail. It just wouldn't look right. It would look out of place.
And as a businessman, would you rather spend the $40,000 on this stealth design or fight the neighborhood?
I'm a subcontractor for Verizon, but it is my understanding that they would like to have everybody in Sioux Falls to be a Verizon wireless customer. So we do what we can to get along and not make anybody upset. Do whatever is possible. We will be planting extra trees around it to help shelter everything. So,
Further questions? Bob Jameson.
This is for Mike. We'll let you off the hook. Mike, how many years ago was it we adopted the ordinance by the city council that flagpoles or mono towers or whatever it would be of stealth design, when the proliferation of cell towers began in the city, we passed an ordinance to that effect that they would be of stealth design to protect the environment and the residents. How long ago was that?
Was that about 10 years ago? About 10 years ago that we were starting to get more and more requests.
And I
like
think
this.
one of the things Verizon and all the others have understood, that when they come to Sioux Falls to put up a tower, they understand what the rules are, and they're not being discriminated against, one getting one type and one getting another. They're all treated the same. So I think that's important to understand.
If I could say,
Go ahead.
I think it's just simply unfortunate here that we're imposing additional costs on these businesses. I mean, if they want to voluntarily have a flagpole design, hey, more power to them. But to have an ordinance to say this, I think it's very unfortunate.
Just for a comment.
Go ahead.
You and I are paying for it.
I know it. That's not good. We don't want to pay a lot of additional costs for this. So.
Where's the wizard when you need him?
Okay, let's get back to order here. Further questions on item number 42? Others that wish to address the council on item number 42? None.
Move for approval, Jameson.
Jameson moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Kavanaugh seconded. Further comments on the motion to approve item 42?
If I could just ask one more question of Mike. From what Bob said then, really, cell phone companies don't have a choice now when they come to Sioux Falls. They're going to have to do the flagpole.
No, it depends on the location.
Okay, it's going to.
Yes.
So, can you be a little more specific, Mike? Where do we require the flagpoles then?
The stealth design would be where it's adjacent to residential uses. There's one on south side of 69th Street, east of Minnesota Avenue, because it's adjacent to residential.
Okay.
Okay, we've got a motion made and seconded to approve item 42. Further comments from the council? Not. All in favor of the motion to approve item 42 will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present vote 8-0. Item 42 has been approved. Item 43.
A resolution amending the future land use map as a part of the Sioux Falls 2015 Growth Management Plan petition number 2008-220 at South Cliff Avenue to South Minnesota Avenue from East 77th Street to East 85th Street, from the unallocated land use to the commercial, parks and open spaces, and single-family residential land use. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is about 218 acres of land that does extend from Minnesota Avenue east to Cliff Avenue, and from 77th Street on the north down to approximately 85th Street to the south. It also shows the future alignment of South Dakota 100, which will be the divided four-lane road that will extend around the east side and south side of Sioux Falls. The landowners have come to us in the past with a portion of this for development, but our 2015 plan did not include all of this area, and it can be served by our utilities, so we are now asking for approval of the land use amendment, and they will be coming back at a later date with a zoning change in accordance with this action tonight. It includes about 31 acres for future commercial development, about 13 acres of right-of-way for streets and highways. The majority of the property, which is about 134 acres, would be for residential use, and then about 40 acres for drainage purposes.
Questions of Mike on item number 43? Others that wish to address the council on item 43? Is there a motion by the council to approve?
I so move. Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Benninger.
Benninger seconded. Further comments on the motion made and seconded? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve item 43, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present vote. Item 43 has been approved 8-0. Item 44.
A resolution of the City of Sioux Falls approving the preliminary plan of Sanford Research Park Addition, petition 2008-217. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This preliminary plan includes the same property that we considered tonight as item 41 for the Sanford Research Facility. Again, it's about 184 acres of land. The preliminary plan is the property owner's engineering information that shows the proposed street layout and also gives us information on preliminary water, sewer, and storm drainage plans for this property. It's reviewed not only by the Planning Commission, but also by various city staff, including planning and engineering. This does meet all of our requirements, and we are recommending approval of this preliminary plan.
Questions of Mike on item 44? Others that wish to address the council on item number 44? Is there a motion by the council?
Move to approve. Brown.
Brown moved. Is there a second?
Second, Jameson.
Jameson seconded. Further comments on the motion made and seconded? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh? Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 44 has been approved 8-0. Item 45.
A resolution authorizing the City of Sioux Falls to gift to the City of Renner, the City of Lenox, and the City of Brandon certain surplus items from Nelson Park.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. This resolution before you is to allow the communities of Renner, Lenox, and Brandon to salvage surplus items from Nelson Field to make way for the construction of the new Drake Springs swimming pool. These items will be salvaged by these communities at no cost to the City of Sioux Falls, which will allow us to save in demolition costs and use that savings for the construction of Drake Springs pool. Be happy to answer your questions at this time.
Questions? Kermit?
Yeah, are the cities going to come and pick this up so we don't have to deliver it to them?
Yes, sir. They're going to come and remove them from where they are and haul them out.
Okay, thank you.
Kevin?
Do you know where we're at on bid opening?
We are hoping to open bids about the end of May. We are in the final plan process right now.
Further questions can be on item 45. Others that wish to address the council on item number 45? Not. Is there a motion to approve?
I so
Move for approval, Benninger.
I
Benninger
second
moved.
that
Knutson
motion.
seconded. Further comments on the motion to approve item 45? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 45 has been approved 8-0. Item 46.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the city and Great Plains Ethanol LLC doing business as Poet Biorefining Chancellor, a limited liability corporation for a landfill gas purchase and sale agreement.
Good evening again, Mayor and City Council. Tonight I have Dave McElroy with me. He's our landfill manager. We also have Rick Surrey. He's the general manager for Great Plains Ethanol. And we hope to answer your questions tonight. We've talked to you about this contract in the past. Principally, it is the same. The terms are it will be a 10-year contract with a 5-year extension option that is on it. It has a base price for the first 10 years of $4 per million BTU. We've talked about the costs that will be associated with this project for the city standpoint before we can begin to sell landfill gas, those costs remain the same that we've talked about for the compression, dehydration, and 11-mile pipeline to the ethanol plant. Those costs remain estimated at $4.3 million. We estimate an annual O&M of about $300,000 to have this pipeline and partnership in place, and we will expect an average annual gross revenue of $1.8 million for the city of Sioux Falls. I would like to highlight one material change that we've made to the contract since it was posted to Granegas, and I will take you to, I handed it out ahead of time, and it is just to further clarify the environmental incentives that are associated with destructing the methane and also from the Great Plains ethanol offsetting their fossil fuel use. And so we've just, again, taken that to one more step in refinement to further clarify. And so the sheet that I handed out ahead of time, the last two sentences in that paragraph, that is the final version that has been accepted by POET this morning. And the one previous is just to reiterate where it changed from. Here to answer any questions that you might have.
Questions of Mark on item number 46? Gerald?
Mark, if you wouldn't mind, you've gone through the financial piece with us many times, but would you just reiterate the, I guess, the environmental impact support that this helps the community and the community of Parker and Chancellor with?
Absolutely. There's obviously a number of benefits. You know, this is, understandably, it's a green energy. It is coming from a renewable source as the waste comes to the landfill and that decomposition happens. Methane is naturally created as opposed to using fossil fuels like coal, natural gas, oil. Those are non-renewable. So from an environmental standpoint, a significant step forward for the city. And the landfill, we are a member now of LMOP, which is an EPA group, which is titled Landfill Methane Outreach Program. And there's just a lot of really good, helpful information as you or the citizens want to go online, do that search for EPA Landfill Methane Outreach Program. You can learn a lot of good facts just in general about the environmental offsets that are created with this type of a partnership, and then just clearly with the operation of the landfill, the new revenue source that will come in. Currently, we are flaring the gas, so when you drive by the landfill and you see that destruction of the methane, environmentally, that's the right thing to do. Now, the next step is to find an end user, which we've worked very diligently with POET. We've been negotiating this contract since late '06. And so it's taken a considerable amount of time because it is a win-win situation for both sides, and it takes that amount of planning. But clearly, the additional revenue source will help stabilize rates at the landfill, help stabilize those tipping fees, and a great step forward for us.
Other questions? Dee?
Mark, would you also just remind the listening public as far as just how frequently this is done in our country right now, just, roughly and so forth?
Yes, there is. It's gaining great popularity. There's been a number of articles how much economic development is beginning to happen near and around landfills just with this energy source. The price of natural gas, what it's done in the last 5 to 6 years, has really propelled this to be a great energy source for many industrial users. This type of use is called direct use, which it means it comes right out of the landfill. It's directly piped, and it will run through a boiler system, so it will be burned just very similar to how we're burning it today. You can also, in many cases, there's probably about 500 of these types of projects. The majority of those are used to create additional electricity and put it on the grid. However, there's a number of issues associated with that. And then there's also the opportunity to take this, what they call a medium BTU gas, and step it up as high as natural gas and inject it right into a pipeline. So we essentially have those three main options. Direct use is by far, from an economic standpoint, the best step forward for the city. It also requires the least amount of capital investment on the landfill and the lowest O&M going forward. So several of those things were analyzed ahead of looking for an energy user. The other positive step with this partner is that they run 24/7 unless Rick shuts the plant down, which that doesn't happen very often. So they have the ability to take all the gas, and as well as the landfill produces gas 24/7. And so there's many advantages on both sides from that standpoint.
Further questions of Mark? Bob Litz.
Just a comment here. Mark, I've been following this thing, and I think it's a good idea. I think it's environmentally sound. It's the right thing to do. And I'm very much in favor of it. But, I've been trying to read this 12.3, and I've read it about 4 times. If anybody up at this council truly understands what this says, I would like you to explain it to me. So I'm going to take a great leap of faith here, Mark, and I'm going to go with you on this because I can't figure this out. I have no idea what this means.
Well, the key is truly the key is in the last 2 sentences, and so those were added, and then they were further refined. Any addition to that, Gary?
12.3 was written by the very expensive consultants that we hired to help us through this. So
they earned their money.
Further questions of Mark on item 46? Others that wish to address the council on item number 46? Come and give your name and address, please.
Once again, my name is Craig Yoder, 26988 Cactus Place, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 57108. I guess I am really pleased that all the presentations on this project are true to form. I've been following this project since its conception 2 years ago. It's definitely a win-win situation where the city has something that somebody else can utilize. The ethanol plant is in a really good situation there, a great location. To not do this would be a loss for everybody. You're using a renewable resource to make a renewable resource. So I strongly suggest, it's just my comment, that let's get going with this and let it go because it's good for the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Others that wish to address the council on item number 46? Seeing no one come forward, is there a motion to approve?
Move for approval, Benninga.
Benninga moves. Is there a second?
Second, Brown.
Brown seconds that motion to approve. Further comments on the motion to approve item 46? Seeing none, all in favor of approving will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present vote. Item 46 been approved 8-0. Item 47.
A resolution including certain contiguous territory within the corporate limits of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Annexation 2008-1-3, southwest corner of South Dakota Highway 42 and 6 Mile Road.
We received a request today from a representative of the property owner to defer this to the April 21st City Council meeting. The purpose of the deferral is that we're still discussing with the applicant the future access that will be allowed when this property potentially would be redeveloped. Right now, it's an existing bar known as DJ's, and they have petitioned to annex this property. But there's one more detail that the owner wants to look at with us, and that's in the event that the property would redevelop, what type of access would be allowed. So we just need a little more time to review that with the property owner.
Okay, you would like a motion to defer that till April 21st, is that correct?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead,
If I
Glenn.
could, Mike, I read from the comments section of this that, and I realize we're probably going to defer this, but I got the impression that this was something that the landowner was doing this specifically to lower his or her public safety costs?
That's what my understanding, yes. And, we did talk to Doug Barthel, police chief, about this, and we do intend to have the applicant here at the hearing so that they can explain better what is their motivation for requesting this annexation.
It just piqued my interest, and I realize it's contiguous to our city limits, and there shouldn't be any other reason why we wouldn't annex it, but I would be more interested in finding out what he's got in mind.
So we'll have them here at the hearing.
Mike, do you know what type of alcohol license they have?
Currently they do have a liquor license, is my understanding.
And so their license will automatically convert to one of ours?
Yes.
And so then in 2 years, when we recalculate it, we'll be down one license. We'll get one less license to issue, right?
Gary Colwell is saying that's correct.
Yes, it won't, we don't have to surrender one now, but we'll have to account for it at the next, the 2010 census.
The census.
And what, any idea what he paid for a county license? Safe to say less than $1,000?
County licenses, if they're within proximity of the city of Sioux Falls, sell for $155,000.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Further questions on item 47?
Move for approval, or I mean for deferral.
Deferral, yeah.
Benninga.
Motion to defer, Benninga, is there a second?
Second, Jameson.
Jameson, second. The motion to defer until April 22nd. Further comments? Not all in favor of the deferral will vote yes, those opposed vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 47 has been deferred until April 21st. Item 48.
A resolution including certain contiguous territory within the corporate limits of the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, annexation 2008-02-01, Dubuque Avenue and 57th Street, Hobson.
This property is located on the north side of East 57th Street, approximately halfway between Sycamore Avenue and Highway 11. It's a property consisting of about 40 acres. The landowner is Bill Hobson, and he has petitioned this to be annexed. It is proposed for future residential and non-residential development.
Questions of Mike on item number 48? Others that wish to address the council on item 48? Not. Is there a motion to approve?
Move for approval, Benninga.
Benninga moves. Is there a second? Kavanaugh seconds. Further comments on the motion been made and seconded? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion approved, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh? Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 48 has been approved 8-0. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Benninga seconded. All in favor of the adjournment will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmembers Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh? Yes. Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
We stand adjourned.
Oh. Thank you very much. Boy, I'll tell you, I didn't know this was...
I'll tell you that.
See what you have to look forward to. Not anymore, man.